A fantastic young man. He is a member of the comedy supergroup called The Agency. They do sketches and shows all over Denver. Everybody, give a nice welcome for Walter Booth.
Hey, thanks everybody. Thank you. All right. I'm Walter Booth. I'm a part-time comedian, but I'm a full-time DJ. That's right. All these instruments up here, I put into a computer and play the stuff at the clubs, and all the people love it. I'm just as talented, just as talented. My DJ name, by the way, in case you're wondering, DJ Booth, y'all. That's right, DJ Booth. Hell yeah, all the ladies to the DJ booth. All the ladies to the DJ booth, please. Yo, it'd be pretty chill. It's like just one lady when I come up to the DJ booth, like just once. That would be nice. Oh boy. Well, I'll be honest, folks. I get friend zoned a lot. I do. Just the other day, a woman told me, she said, "I love you like a brother," and I just thought, I wish this were Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? Got some HBO subscribers out there. Yeah. Goodness. It's the friend zone is a place that exists, It's like I got invited over to a place, Jack. She's like, "Hey, come over, cutie," little winky face. Went over there, ended up playing Rock Band with her and her cousins. So, anybody else do that? If you guys are interested in the friend zone, there's this great book you should read. It's all about the friend zone. It's called Dracula, written by Bram Stoker. Yeah, Bram Stoker. I hardly know her. Huh? I'm not sure what that joke is. Dracula. It really is all about the friend zone, because basically what happens is, there's about 3 or 4 guys. They're all protecting, one woman in the story, and it's strictly platonic. Nothing happens between her and any of them. And then what happens is this guy, Dracula, he breaks in through the window. You don't exactly know what happens, but there's an exchange of bodily fluids, and I guess Dracula gets what he wants in the end, It kind of makes sense that Dracula should break out of the friend zone because, he's very, I see what the ladies love on him, He's very experienced, he's very rich. He has a castle, he has hairy palms. He can control wolves with his mind, right? He can turn into bats, just suddenly turn into bats, or he can turn into mist. Right? Surely some of the ladies in tonight's audience have dated a guy who just turned into mist, just like that, just sort of disappeared. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Oh, boy. That went off for a second. I hope I was still alive. That's what's important, that I'm still alive, I went traveling with my grandmother recently. We flew all the way from Dublin, Ireland, all the way to Denver, Colorado. Okay, all in all, it was about a 13-hour flight. Okay, it's a long trip, especially considering that my grandmother has severe dementia. Okay, just pretty severe dementia. And just to give you an example of what I was dealing with, we had actually landed in Denver. Okay, we're about to get off the plane. And she leans over and she says, "Walter, I'm afraid we're going to miss the flight." And I realized that having dementia is really the way to fly. It's, it was really just like a 13-hour nightmare for me. It was really just like an uncomfortable few minutes for her, She really had no idea. The whole thing really had me thinking, I really want to start an airline. I think I want to call it Dementia Airlines. Yeah, Dementia Airlines. Come ride the forgetful skies. That's... The way it works is you basically get in and, you buy your ticket, you get your seat, you sit down, and then we just hit you over the head with a hammer. We just hit you over the head with a hammer. Don't worry, United hasn't trademarked this yet. So what happens is you, of course, fall asleep and you wake up and you don't remember who you are. And you're like, well, I don't remember who I am or what I'm doing, but I'm in Paris and I'm going to make the best of it. That's the hope. Of course, you're not going to get the luggage that you came with, but you're not going to remember what your luggage was, so it doesn't really matter in the end, Just like any other airline in that sense, I guess. Anyway, this whole trip with my grandma, it gave me a lot of ideas, and it really wasn't all so bad. I mean, I actually learned things. For example, I learned why you're not supposed to have your hearing aids on at the airport. This is true. They put signs up, and the reason is because you can pick up air traffic control through the hearing aids. Yeah, so while I was trying to get my grandmother on the plane, she was trying to land on runway number 4. So it was a little bit difficult, to be sure. The whole trip wasn't bad, though. You know, we got to watch movies. It's a long international flight. We got to watch, some films. As for my grandmother, actually, she watched Alien on silent. You would think that would be like the worst movie you could watch while you have dementia on an airplane. She quite enjoyed it. I don't know why. It was horrific in many ways, but she quite enjoyed it. As for myself, I watched Batman versus Superman versus Grandma. Yeah. Spoiler alert: Grandma won. Yeah, Grandma won that fight, for sure. Oh my goodness! Don't mind me. I'm just checking my phone on a bongo drum. You ever hear that phrase before? Probably not, but tonight's a first. A phrase you hear fairly often, these days. It's like, hey, bro, would you do me a solid? Hey, bro, do me a solid. Move this boulder for me. You might hear. You rarely hear, hey, bro, would you do me a liquid? Fill up my aquarium for me. Would you just do me a liquid and fill up my aquarium? You rarely hear that. You rarely hear, hey, bro, would you do me a gas and just fill up my hot air balloon for me? Would you do me a gas and fill up my hot air balloon? I bought the darn thing on eBay, and I don't know how it works. Just help me out. I don't know. I've been trying to blow it up for 3 hours. I don't know how to light an air balloon. Hot air balloon. Okay. Anybody drinking tonight? Anybody, having a few drinks? Yeah, very nice. Well, it's a fun thing to do. Not drinking, of course. But be careful, don't drink too much this evening, because it's easy to overdo it with something like drinking. Just the other day, I saw a guy, he was drinking at a bar, and he was just wasted. He was drunk, he was shway, as I like to say. And I say shway because that's the one thing you can say when you're that drunk, just, I'm shway. That's how drunk he was. And, he was so drunk, in fact, that the mosquitoes that were flying around him were getting into fights and having unprotected intercourse. Yeah. Can I say intercourse on this show? Is that okay? Is that passable? Okay. Good. How can you tell if mosquitoes are doing it? I really just don't know. Speaking of which, it sort of got me thinking. I saw my car in the summertime. It was just covered in pollen. And I thought that's pretty interesting. The plants, they can't reproduce with my car, but they're trying. And then I realized if an alien species were to look at my bed, they'd have a very similar thought. He's not going to be able to reproduce with his bed. You know that, right? But he's still going to try every night and cry while he does it. I don't understand. Oh, boy. My ex-girlfriend's got real problems, She's got real problems. She kept giving birth to the spawn of Satan, We had it checked out by the doctor, obviously. As it turns out, she had deviled eggs. So, deviled eggs. Okay. I do have relationship advice for you, though. I do, just a touch of relationship advice. You look at me and you think, that guy looking at his phone on a bongo drum, he really knows, how to treat a lady. I just assume is what people think about me. Here's a good little piece of advice for you. If you happen to be in a relationship, don't look at the phone of your significant other. Don't be looking through it. Don't be looking through the text messages and all that, because it'll seem bad at first, but it really just ends up being pretty much okay or good 30 minutes later. It's kind of like an episode of That's So Raven, if you've ever seen that. I'll give you an example. Okay, I looked at my girlfriend's phone, and she was going to meet some sketch dude in an alley behind my apartment. Okay. Turns out she was buying acid for my birthday. So, it was just like an episode of That's So Raven, really. In closing, I just want to say, some of you are probably wondering, it's like, hey, what's the deal with this dude's voice? What's going on? Was he kicked in the nuts or something? What's happening? The truth of the matter is, my mom was addicted to helium. while she was pregnant. Yeah, she huffed a lot of loons, as they say. So much so that when I came out and they cut the cord, I just kind of flew around the room for a little bit and then just sort of landed. Thank you very much, everybody. I've been Walter Booth. That was the Walter Truth, huh? Give it up for Daniel Reskin, everybody. He does good work out here, huh?
Walter, stick around, Walter. Stick around. Talk to me for a second. There you go.
Ooh, I kept the same microphone, huh?
We want a little after.
That's style, that's grace.
That's right. Let us know a little bit about the agency, where we can find you, where we can follow you.
Yeah, like us on Facebook.
Who?
The Agency. It's just going to, The Agency. You can, I think, just put that in your search bar. Or just facebook.com/The
like
Agency.
If I search that, the FBI is going to come after me or something.
Oh, well, they might.
The Agency, Comedy Denver.
Yeah. They've infiltrated the comedy scene here. The FBI has.
But yeah, cool.
And on Twitter @Agency Sketch. So
nice.
How about that?
What a team player. No personal Twitter. To plug.
Personal Twitter @Walter Booth.
Because we saw you. We didn't see the agency.
Well, you didn't, but you saw a third of us. So I tried to do a little cutesy thing there for the camera.
Oh, cutesy Booth over here.
Yeah, well.
All right. Well, anything else to tell to the airwaves at large? Get your manifesto out.
Well, just peace and love, and it's okay to fart. Everybody does. I think that's.
Thank you. I've been waiting all night.
Good. Yeah. Woo! Everybody can fart there. In the watching at home in the audience.
Let it out.
Let one out.
All right. Walter Booth, everybody.